So, boys and girls, it's Gypsy again. I think it's kind of pointless to make this video, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. For the Beterbiev and Gosling fight. And what I thought about it. I thought this fight was going to take place on Saturday. If you were in the BDA channel, you were hearing me out. Just in case I'm doing this video because, you know, the BDA channel, you guys can't hear me out so well. I thought this fight was going to take place on Saturday. So I was going to make another, I was going to research a little bit more before I actually make it, make an ultimate decision. Because initially I had Gosling on the 10th round stoppage. But when I did my research, I looked at the fight with Usyk and Beterbiev, the first two amateur fights that I saw that they've had. Apparently, there's been more, but I haven't found it on the internet yet. So I'm just gonna go off the two that I've seen. Beterbiev was a beast. I saw these fucking two amateur fights before I saw the fight. Before I even knew the fight with Beterbiev and Gosling took place. So I was gonna make my prediction. I was gonna do a video off of it, saying that Beterbiev is gonna KO Gosling. But then I found out, shit, the fight had already taken place, and Beterbiev had knocked him out in the 10th round. I was gonna say Beterbiev 8th round, whatever, he's gonna KO him in 8th, 10th. It's pretty precise. Whoever got that shit, very precise on the dot, exactly on the dot. I think Jimmy was that guy. Pretty good pick. Anyways, all that shit aside, yeah, Beterbiev, man, is a beast. Not by the performance, not by this performance, I could say that he will knock out Bivol and, knock out Kovalev to beat everybody in the light heavyweight division. And Canelo, don't even mention Canelo. Canelo's gonna get smashed, man. Canelo's not even it's not even worth mentioning at all whatsoever. You know what I mean? He's a beast, bro. He hits, I mentioned in the BDA channel, he hits as hard as a heavyweight, top tier heavyweight, not elite. I'm not gonna compare him to Wilder's power because I can't. There's no measuring stick to that. Or let's say somebody like AJ or even the lights of Dylan White. I can't compare him to those guys because there's nothing to compare. One day when Usyk fights them, we'll find out exactly where, if Beterbiev matches up in power. But strength-wise, I feel like he's a cruiserweight. Even though he might be maybe not that tall in stature, he is a pretty wide in the torso area. And for the clowns out there who say Breedis will eat him alive, you're out of your fucking mind. Breedis will get smashed by this dude. Breedis is a less talented. He's a brute too himself, dirty fighter, but a less talented motherfucker. And Beterbiev ain't gonna take that shit. Beterbiev ain't gonna take that shit. You fight dirty with that motherfucker, he will fight dirty right back. He's a mean motherfucker, and he definitely hits harder than fucking, like I mentioned in the channel itself, Gassiev, Usyk, shit, anybody in the fucking cruiserweight division right now that I know of, the top guys, the Dorticos. He fucking knocked out Dorticos. Dorticos is gonna fuck up Breedis, bro. Dorticos is gonna fuck up Breedis. Don't even mention fucking Breedis. Breedis is a fucking. They put this guy up in a. He got skill. It's not like he has absolutely no skill, but they put this guy up like he's the best thing since sliced bread in the cruiserweight division. Like, he ain't shit, bro. Realistically, he got beat by the Armenian cat. What's his name? Nolan, something like that. I keep forgetting this fool's name. He clearly got beat by that dude, and he got outboxed the shit out of by Usyk, and we did somewhat decent against Usyk. He won some rounds, maybe one or two. I don't know. I didn't even actually keep count of the fucking. I didn't even look at the fucking. I didn't score that fight exactly. I just watched it, and I saw, just like how I did this fight with Beterbiev and Vosnik. I didn't really score this fight. Sometimes I don't feel like scoring. Scoring is a pain in the ass, man. You got to count the punches. I'd rather just enjoy watching it. And it's usually the winner that's obvious sticks out. Just like it was with Triple G and Devinchenko. It obviously sticked out. Obviously, but I scored that one. But people like to disagree. That's a different story. You know what I mean? Obvious winner was Usyk in that one. Obvious winner, yeah. Dorticos is another guy that's going to punish that dude. But the difference between Dorticos, I think Dorticos hits harder than Usyk. And he's a brute himself. So it's... he might not have a better chin between the two, Breedis and him, but he definitely has the pop that's consistent enough to fucking... And I think skill-wise is still... His length and everything is going to prove otherwise. But we're not talking about Breedis and Dorticos here. We're talking about Beterbiev here. And his capabilities. Beterbiev is a beast. No one's stopping him. No one beating. The only guy that comes close to this guy, to beat this guy, is Bivol. Bivol's the only dude that can beat this dude. And Bivol, bro, no, he ain't going to beat him neither. I'm just saying the closest guy that has a chance against him. He ain't going to beat him for sure. He's going to get KO'd. Bivol will have success, as I mentioned, in the BDA channel, but since my fucking signal apparently always is my voice is muffled and shit, and I can't get my point across exactly properly. Bivol's gonna have success early, but when he gets caught, he's gonna get smashed. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, Bivol's gonna have success early. Then when he gets caught, he's still not the better. He's still the better boxer. Just like Vosnik was the better boxer against Bivol. Against Beterbiev. He's still the better boxer over Beterbiev. That's how he say his name. He's still the better boxer between them. And not only that, Kovalev is the better outside boxer. Inside-wise, I favor Beterbiev again. Beterbiev's skill is great. It's good. But on this, like the foot movement and on the shit that he has great timing as well. And that's perfect for his power punching. That's what Triple G has. Great timing, but not anymore. I think his timing is not what it used to be. But that's a different story. Let's toss that shit aside again. The thing with Beterbiev is his power and his strength is with the level of skill he has, which is a decently great level of skill, but not as good as the other guys, is what brings him over the top than all these guys that I just mentioned. Kovalev, Bivol, Groznik, as you saw, he got KO'd. Yeah. He's a beast. And I should name this guy the Crusher. Kovalev ain't no Crusher compared to this dude, bro. This dude is on a different league. Kovalev, yeah. Let's say if you try to bring Kovalev up and put him up in the cruiserweight division, you think Kovalev will have as good a success as somebody like Beterbiev? Fuck no. Beterbiev? He won't. Hell no. Hell to the fucking no. He will not have that kind of success. You know what I mean? Fuck no. So he will get knocked out by this. He's too small, too weak for those type of guys. But it's not the size of the guys. Usually, the dog in the motherfucker, and strength and everything. That's on Beterbiev's side. Let's just say it that way. Beterbiev's. Yeah, but these guys, then, since like one dude beats the shit out of another dude, they automatically jump on the fact that he was, man, maybe Beterbiev is more skillful than fucking Groznik. He is not more skillful. He's just stronger. He just got enough skill set. With the power itself, goes a longer way, and based off of those attributes, he is the better fighter. He's the guy who's going to beat the other guy. It ain't all about skill. You can look at that. You can compare that shit with Wilder's career. You can see it in Wilder. Wilder doesn't have. Wilder got some level of skill set. He ain't like he's not completely fucking, he's not a cheerleader with pom-poms throwing punches at you. You know what I mean? He has a level of skill, but it's not everybody he's ever. Most of the guys he's fought, not everybody. I would say there's a few I can't even say most of the guys. Let's just say a good percentage of guys that he's fought, a good percentage of guys had more boxing skills than he did. They just did. But what happened? They all got KO'd. You know why? Because he was a stronger, more harder hitting motherfucker between them. And this is the same thing when it comes to Beterbiev. But Beterbiev is the shorter dude. In this case, Wilder is usually a taller guy, whoever he faces. The same thing. But that does not make Wilder fucking the better boxer because, he knocked out Szpilka. Then he's the better boxer. He has the more skill set, the more, the abilities, the better the better foot movement, the better, everything, just in general, everything. No. You might have certain attributes better than fucking Szpilka, for instance, but as a skill, as a boxing professional, what he brings to the table in skill set, he does not have better. Same thing with Beterbiev, and compared to all these other dudes that I mentioned, it's the same scenario, same thing. But fanboys like to make it even more greater than it is. You know what I mean? Beterbiev, he all boxed him. He was getting hit initially in the first 4 rounds, but the power that he has switches the table. You can't, I'll give you an example. Usyk, right? I mentioned Usyk and Beterbiev. That's the deciding factor that made me change my mind, but it was too late. The fight already happened. I didn't know about it, and I found out after. Usyk, who has a better skill set? Usyk or Beterbiev? Who has a better skill set? Usyk, right? But who got beat the fuck down in the second amateur fight and almost got KO'd? Usyk. Usyk got his ass handed to him, bro. You could even call it you could even say that Beterbiev is Usyk's fucking daddy. That's how bad that was, bro. That was horrible. It was it's like the first amateur fight they had with each other. The first one, it was a close one, but he was still getting hurt left and right. Can you imagine Usyk getting hurt? The guy that right now is a heavyweight, technically a cruiserweight in my eyes, that's fighting in the heavyweight division. He's still not proven to me as much of a heavyweight to be considered a heavyweight. He's still, to me, I feel like, he's very cautious, when he fights this heavyweights. He feels like he's a smaller man, even though in some cases he might not be the smaller man. But, he fought Witherspoon like he was a smaller man. You know what I mean? That's what I mean, when I say to me he looks like a cruiserweight fighting in the heavyweight. Because he is, realistically. But let's throw that shit aside. That's a different story. Usyk looked like dog shit against Beterbiev. And that shows you how strong this motherfucker is. He had good timing against Usyk and all that stuff, but he got his ass almost knocked out in the first fight as well. That body shot, legs gave out in the amateurs, man. That shit's ridiculous, bro. That's a retarded ass. I've never seen Usyk go down like that. I've never seen Usyk go down at all. The only down that he went, the only knockdown he had was against that fucking Golaka, whatever his fucking name is, where it was he was off balance. And that's the only one I know of that he went down. That was not a legitimate. What's the word? In my eyes, was not a legitimate knockdown. It was not. It was just more of an off balance thing that he felt. This was like you saw his fucking body, his legs gave out, his liver. It was a liver shot too. His liver just went. It's not working no more. You know what I mean? Done. I wouldn't even say it was a liver shot. It was actually, it damaged the liver, but I won't say it was liver, because liver shots usually on the biggest side of the liver is on the right side of the body, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so he hit Usyk's on Usyk's left side of the body. Yeah, this shit's fucking. And then the second one, he did the same shit. They took the points off of him. And man, is Usyk protected, bro. You can't sit there and tell me Usyk is not protected. That motherfucker is protected. They're trying to hype him up. He's great. He deserves the hype, but they're trying to hype him up even more than he actually probably deserves. Automatically, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to do it real quick. It's not a good thing. Because then, what if he doesn't prove it? Then all that shit backfires on you. You know what I mean? He's good. He's great. But in my eyes, he has yet to prove anything in the heavyweight division. He hasn't done shit. And all them excuses about, oh, he chooses the good fights. He chooses, you know, he was trying to fight the best guys. No, they were trying to get the most easiest competition, and there's proof about that. The guy who knocked out AJ tweeted about that shit, that Eddie Hearn said they were looking for an easy fight. So you can't give me that fucking excuse. That bullshit ass excuse can't fly. And there's nothing wrong with that shit. Because you don't want to fucking put him up against like some animal fucking elite level fucking heavyweight right now. Like Oscar Rivas is a good example. You know, you don't want to put you because you're not too sure. It's proper management. That's what I was saying last time. Proper management. Carefully pick your fights, and then you can bring them up. And it doesn't take too much. It might be too. If he's anything like the people think he is, then within 2 to 3 fights, he'll be on top and be fighting all those fucking big names like the Wilders and the Furies and the, you know, whatever, the Mexican, what's his name? The guy that beat AJ himself, you know, Ruiz. Yeah. But it's too early for those to make him go up. Not only because of the fact that they're not even sure. It's also because there are other fights to be made that people eyes are glued to. They want to see that fight, but you know, Usyk comes in. He's just gonna, if he does anything, if he is as good as some people think he is, I think he's somewhere around that area. But some people overhype him way too much. You know what I mean? Then in that case, yeah, that'll fuck up the whole, you know, scenario with Wilder trying to get a fight with AJ or Ruiz or whatever, you know, or Tyson Fury trying to, you know, join in this action and stuff like that. It's a problem. It becomes an issue. Not too much of an issue. But the thing is, there are fights set up already. You know what I mean? There are fights already set up, so it's like whatever. But this is like, oh, we're talking about Beterbiev again. I went too far into it, fucking talking about Usyk and shit. Beterbiev is a fucking beast. My twin, I like to call him, my twin. That motherfucker is a beast. They hating on this fool a lot. I notice it, and they're still hating on this fool, big time. They're impressed by his 15 KOs. Yeah, 15. They're just like how they were hating on Khabib. Same shit. Khabib from fucking MMA. It's the same fucking thing. There's something about the fucking people with fucking black beards. They think they're, you know, it's a little different. You know what I mean? You know, I don't want to go too deep on that shit. You know what I mean? This guy's a fucking man's man, dude. This fool, tough as nails. Shit, the nail, what's his name? Groznik. Yeah, he hammered him down. He's not a nail, he's a fucking hammer, technically. Yeah, he's a beast, bro. You can't take anything away from him. As I said before, the fight between Groznik, the more skillful man was Groznik. But Beterbiev had enough skill, along with that enormous heavyweight power that he has, heavyweight punching power that he has, to nullify, and the chin and everything as well, combination of shit. It's not like he didn't get hurt at all. He did kind of get hurt, you know what I mean? He's had flash knockdowns, as I mentioned before. But you got to get him right on the dot. You got to get something perfect. Shit, even fucking Usyk couldn't do that to the amateurs. And you keep in mind, dude, that the amateurs is with pads. They got fucking pads, you know, they're wearing pads and shit. They got fucking bigger gloves and shit. A little more protection. And he still did that to Usyk. What makes you think he might not pull that off right now? Is it that impossible to see that happening? Or the Usyk fanboys might say, no. He's too big now. He's more fine-tuned in his skills. Well, what happened to Beterbiev? He's just stale, and he can't. He's no longer. He never improved after those fights. Are you kidding me? That's the fanboy shit, bro. That's the fanboy shit. What else can I add to this shit? What else can I add to this stuff? To this fucking madness. Yeah, he's a lot of ways like Triple G. Prime Triple G. Not this Triple G that we have nowadays. He's a lot of ways like Trump. The only difference is he's been knocked down before. Triple G has never been knocked down before. That's the only difference between them. But power-wise, if you base it off of, you ratio it up, like power-wise, he has more punching power for his weight division than fucking Golovkin does for his weight division. Power-wise, he's on a different level. Chin-wise, no. Golovkin has a better chin for 160 than I think Beterbiev has for 175. But still a decent chin. You know what I mean? Those flash knockdowns, bro. The more heavier weight they go, the probabilities of getting knocked down increases. See, this is the reason why when I said I want to see Oscar Rivas fight Usyk, because of what I just witnessed with the amateurs with Beterbiev, and Oscar Rivas hits like a fucking ton of bricks. Yes, Usyk has the better skill set, but Oscar Rivas is the powerhouse. Oscar Rivas is the stronger dude. I would like to see a fight like that between them. A Parker fight, I think Parker gets beaten soundly by Usyk. Skills, there's a skill gap, but I don't think he knocks him out, but he definitely beats him soundly. You know, I've always said this for a long time. I think he beats him soundly. It's gonna be a little bit tough fight, but I see Usyk beating him soundly. But yet again, I go back to Usyk. Fucking Beterbiev is our main topic. But Usyk is such a superstar, you just keep going back to Usyk, you know what I mean? At this point, he's not a superstar, but he's such a star. He's a rising fast-track guy, you know? I keep going back to that guy. Beterbiev is a beast, and he's gonna prove it when he finishes off everybody in that light heavyweight division. He's gonna and hopefully when he does finish it, he has enough time in his career to fucking move up in cruiserweight and prove what I'm telling you guys. Because that guy does not belong in that division. I won't say it's wrong to say that doesn't belong in that division, but he's just too strong for that division, bro. You know, like Kovalev, any version of Kovalev you put up against that dude, he smashes it. Any version of Kovalev. Prime Kovalev, the best Kovalev has ever been. You know, the Kovalev that fought Bernard Hopkins. That Kovalev, I think, was the best Kovalev. You know, I think that was his top, you know. That Kovalev, put him up against Beterbiev, he smashes him. He walks through him like butter. He just walks through him like butter. This guy's a beast, man. And I'm looking forward to watch even more of his fights. Yeah, I've watched a couple of them before, but they were against scrubs. Nothing special about who he was facing. Wozniak had the better resume at the time, but doesn't matter, bro. You watch his amateur fights, you know what you're looking at. You know what you're looking at once you watch this. This is when the amateur fights matter, bro. You have to. Amateur fights not always matters to me. The reason why I say this is because sometimes the guys, like Lomachenko, for instance, yes, he was undefeated for so long, you know what I mean? But when he came into the pro leagues, he doesn't fight, you know, the same way. As you can see in his latest fights, he fights in a whole different style, than when he used to do when he first came off the amateurs. You know what I mean? Yeah, what he used to do when he first came off the amateurs. Fights totally different. That's why I don't like to compare. But Lomachenko's skills, Lomachenko's style of fighting hasn't really changed much from the amateurs. Yes, he might have had a few things, but this and that, but it hasn't really changed much. It's did I say Lomachenko's? Usyk's fucking style of fighting hasn't really changed. Yeah, I did say Usyk. What am I saying? It hasn't really changed much. It's still the same. That little bit more tools to his skill set, but it hasn't really changed much. Lomachenko's, I could see like a whole turnaround of how he fights, how he does whatever he does, more comfortability, more confidence. It's a different thing. That's why I don't really like to watch amateurs as much to see how good the guy can do in the pros at this moment. You know what I mean? But there's in some cases, in this case, you have to, because you clearly see what he was able to do, you know, and with all that protection that both guys have, because it's an amateur fight. I'm talking about Usyk and Beterbiev fight, you know what I mean? But apparently there's other 3 fights out there that I don't know about, you know what I mean? That apparently Usyk outboxed and outschooled and this and that, all this nonsense that I have not seen. If I haven't seen it, it don't exist in my opinion. You gotta fucking show it to me. You can say all kinds of things. There's so many motherfuckers telling me this and that. Oh, trust me, fucking Usyk said that shit, corruption. But then I hear fucking the guy that fucking knocked out AJ says something totally different, that Eddie Hearn is the guy making the matches. He's part of the fucking team that makes the matches, that is, and they want an easy fight. So you can't sit there you can't believe what anybody says, man. You gotta fucking, either you show it to me or it don't fucking exist. Show it to me or it don't fucking exist. That's the way I see it. You know what I mean? But so far, based off those 2 fights, I can say right here and right now, Beterbiev beats everybody in the cruiserweight division. I can tell you that much. And will still beat the likes of Usyk. Yeah, a lot of motherfuckers are like, oh, no, it's impossible. Trust me. He can beat that guy. He can definitely beat that guy. If he was able to do that with pads and fucking all that shit back, how long ago it was, maybe 3 or 4 years ago? That's not that far. You know what I mean? He was able to do that shit with all them pads and everything and all that protection. You know what I mean? Hurting him in the head, hurting him in the body. Jesus, his body shots are vicious as fuck. You know what I mean? If he was able to do that shit at that point, then he will definitely, most definitely do it, without all that shit. Without all that protection. It's even more, on top of that, he puts on the weight to fight him, which means that he's going to hit harder. His power is not going to be as drained. That's insane. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, this guy, in the entirety of boxing, I can sit there and say that his power, I'm talking about the heavyweights, all the divisions, his power is like, if Wilder's number 1, let's just say hypothetically speaking, and I believe he is number 1 in power, I will put him somewhere, with all the heavyweights and all that motherfuckers considered, I will put him somewhere at the moment. I will put him somewhere about maybe 8 to 9. If there's 10 people, if he's top 10, I'll put him about 8 to 9, somewhere around that area in power. Because there's a lot of other heavyweights out there that hit like a ton of bricks. You know what I mean? But I can't even say that because I can't even say that. It's too early to say that. It's too early to say that. You can't say that. It's impossible to say that. But I know he when you compare it to Gassiev and Usyk, his power is over those guys. By a good level of percentage, I can guarantee you that much. A good level of percentage. I can't speak how much, but it's a good level of percentage over those guys. He hits a lot. He has a lot more crack. And shit, you could even say, fuck, Gassiev has based on his style and how he fights, maybe Gassiev has certain things he does better than fucking Beterbiev, and he still won't beat Beterbiev, bro. You know what I mean? Gassiev's skill set, you know what I mean? He still won't beat Beterbiev. It's not all about skill, man. They always look about skill. Oh, skills do what, pays the bills. Yes, it does pay the bills, but you need the power, you need the stamina, you need the endurance, you need all that shit. You need this combination of all these things. But usually, power makes a huge difference in a fight. Just ask Adonis Stevenson. Yeah, just ask Adonis Stevenson. Just ask Wilder. I think Wilder's the best representation of this. You know what I mean? Even though a lot of people say he fought bums, shit, he fought. Ariola, as much of a bum he is, he's not too much of a bum. You know what I mean? He still had, I think a longer boxing career than fucking Wilder, and he couldn't do shit to fucking Wilder. Wilder would fucking walk through that motherfucker. You know what I mean? There's some guys that he had troubles with, but he still knocked them out anyhow. Doesn't make a difference? No, they don't. So anyways, that's my say about this fight with Gvozdyk and Beterbiev. You know what I mean? I had the first four rounds. Gvozdyk was doing some good work, and then after that, domination by pinata beating from Beterbiev, just timing him, just walking through his punches. The entire night he was walking through his punches, technically. Maybe not the first couple of rounds, but not exactly in the first couple of rounds, but the entire after that it was just. You got to be cautious. You can't always, it's not automatic. Boom, I'm walking through your punches. It doesn't work that way. You get a comfortable zone, and then once you get that comfortable zone, that's what happens. Yeah. So that's about it. This is the Gypsy. Out.